Okay, as far as I can tell, we are live. Should be working. Great. All right, thank you all for attending. Yeah, and again, I'm going to continue teaching. You know, a lot of what I'm going to talk about is to help us understand the influences that we are more receptive to than you know. Yeah, many people think you have to be a superhero or something of, you know, the Marvel magazine or something like that to have superpowers, you know, abilities beyond what you even know is possible, like healing someone or being able to feel the thoughts or communicate with an animal, you know, or be able to raise up and change the genetic makeup of plants and animals, you know, by loving them and communicating, you know, and it helps them to evolve into a greater and greater soulful species that they're meant to be. And that's what human beings have the ability to do. We have the ability to bring everything into right order, into balance, not just ourselves, but everything and everybody. Yeah, even businesses, cities, nothing is too big. Yeah, everything that exists is our responsibility for change in a metaphysical way. Yeah, it's going to happen in a physical way, but when we have faith and we use intuition and we have telepathy and we have thought forms that are collectively being moved by the Holy Spirit, then that kind of pulls together, you know, a hidden scenario that we're not aware of, yeah, and that our collective mind, our collective thought, yeah, our ideologies, our feelings, if they're raised up into higher intuition and beyond, you know, then we are not separate. You know, here on this personality level, we experience everything separate. Yeah, we experience our thoughts as separate. We don't think anybody can hear them. They're our thoughts, you know, and all of everything we do, we think that it's our choices. You know, it's our separate scenario. It's our outcome. It's what it is we have gained, you know. But when it evolves into the future, you know, which is our nature, which is the way it's going to work, you know, and it's not about me telling you what to do or laying down anything. It's about an evolutionary process that happens when you're in the presence of Christ. Yeah, and there are these changes that happen in people, and it's always metaphysical. Yeah, and it always breaks the bonds of the physical that's causing your suffering, you know, emotionally, mentally, even culturally. Yeah, and imagine yourself a person who's born into a family that is surrounded by gang members. Yeah, imagine you're born in L.A. or you're born in Guadalajara or you're born in Mexico City, you know, or you're born somewhere in, you know, down south. Yeah, and you have strong gang ties. Your father was a gang member, your mother was a gang member, all your cousins are gang members. Yeah, and you kill people. Yeah, and you suffer, you know, for that, and you don't know. Everybody just sees the action, sees the activity, sees the suffering, and then said, well, catch them, put them in prison, stop this stuff. But that doesn't stop it. It keeps going on. It's been going on for thousands of years. Yeah, but it can be stopped. Yeah, it could be healed. Yeah, it could be forgiven. Yeah, it could be relieved of his curse. And the average person would just go, well, what justifies this person to be happy? When are they going to get their right due for the evil that they've carried out, killing people, killing children, killing men and women, you know, causing so much suffering? Yeah. You always got to look at reality, and reality is that the past is the past. The present is the present. And we make the future out of the present, not the past. Yeah. And the past is what it is. Yeah. It just is what it is. Yeah. and you have no idea what caused it to happen. You have no idea. Yeah. But on another spiritual level, yeah, people can be lifted up to be in the hands of angels, in the hands of saints in their future life, and themselves as a saint. Even though they're a gang member, killing people, suffering, completely insane. You know, the demons from the people you kill attack you the moment you wake up and tell you to kill yourself. You know, kill more people. You know, it is what goes on in a gang. But we don't know that. You know, we just say, put them in prison, get rid of them, stop them. You know? But we don't know what makes them do what they do. Yeah? And we don't know how much they're suffering and that they're demonically possessed. We don't know that. Yeah? Because we haven't a connection with God to know God's problem. And everything is God's problem. You know, and we're here to fix it. Yeah? We're not here to judge it. We're not here to build prisons. Yeah? We're not here to make guns. You know, we're not here to cut people's throats or make them suffer and torture. You know, we're not here for that. Yeah. What we're here for is to forgive people, to redeem them, to love them. Yeah, no matter what. Yeah, it doesn't matter what the condition, doesn't matter what they've done. Yeah, the only reaction has to be consistent love, and that's what you get from Christ. Yeah, you can wish that upon humanity from the president or from your pope or from a Dalai Lama or something like that, but you're still going to see suffering, and you're still going to see more prisons built, and you're still going to see all these things go on. You will not see the saving of those people, saving of them. You know, you might see them, oh, I believe in Jesus now, or I believe in Muhammad, or I believe in Buddha, or I believe in the Dalai Lama, you know, but it doesn't make them a better person. You know, they're still suffering. They're still going through what they're going through. Yeah, nothing's really changed. Yeah, so there is a process in the world that's going on that I'm doing that's effectively changing the world. Yeah, and I'm doing it in ways that it's rippling through the planet. You know, that these things are impossible. These things can't happen. You can't fix these things. Yeah. Here's a guy named Daniel. He's a gang member. He's only 25 years old. He's a Mexican. He was born in it. Yeah. His mother was a gang member. His father was a gang member. His cousins were gang members. He killed people since he was a child. He watched people die left and right all through his life. He was on drugs of every kind. You know.
My name is Daniel Ortiz, and I was born in Delicias, Chihuahua, Mexico. I'm 25 years old, and when I was 13 years old, I was diagnosed with delusional psychotic schizophrenia due to post-traumatic stress disorder, and I've been taking medicine. It was Seroquel and paroxetine, and I took it for 11 years. I used to, because I saw a lot of pain growing up. I saw a lot of people dying and really horrible things. I would hear voices. I would see visions. My whole life was just glitch. I couldn't eat right. Food tasted like metal. I was like suicidal. I would hear them all the time. They would touch me when I would take showers. When I would wake up, it's the first thing I would think about. Just visions of people that I had seen that had died. Yeah, they would yell at me. They would tell me to kill myself, to hurt my family, to hurt those that I loved. Since wearing the pendant and having the sessions, I've actually been sweating out medicine that I used to take. The medicine, the Seroquel and the Paxil I wake up sweating it, and I feel more clear. I can hear better. I can see better. I don't have to be glitchy all the time. I don't feel weak. I don't feel so bad. I feel good. I feel good. I mean, it's really quick. It illuminates you really quick. It helps. It speeds up something that no doctor can give you. No, you can't find this nowhere.
Which healing tools have you experienced with Buddha Maitreya?
The vajas, the mat.
Okay.
And I have this little one, the weaver, the pendant.
As we were doing the sessions, we did about 5 sessions. What was your experience?
My experience was food had a taste. Actually had a taste. The medicine I would take, the Seroquel and the Paxil, my body started refusing it. I was able to sleep better. I didn't glitch so much. I've been smoking for like 7 years, and I don't want to smoke no more cigarettes. I've been feeling healed, really healed.
Have you seen him since using the tool, since wearing the pendant?
No, I have not. I want to give thanks to the Buddha Maitreya, to God, to the universe, to the angels that He has sent to me. You know what I mean? And for these tools, like they really help. They really help, because I've been sick a long time, and I don't even take my medicine anymore. I don't need it no more. I'm good. I'm good. I feel happy with my life. Happy.
That's good.
My name is Daniel Ortiz. And
It's pretty cool. Yeah, pretty normal. But not normal in this world, not normal to a prison guard, not normal to a doctor, not normal to a psychologist, not normal to a senator, when he makes those decisions of putting in more prisons. Not normal to the mayor when he calls to the police and tells them to behave in certain ways, because they have no other alternative, none, but they do. Yeah, and I'm here, and I am not a normal person. Yeah, I have abilities that you need to tap into. You need to try. More people that know of me, the more the world knows Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's not the past, it's the present. It's not about the past, it's about the present. And the present is what builds the future. I come from the past. I fix the past. My past is very different than what you think the past was. If you were in my circle, if you were walking with me throughout my whole past, you would have known Padmasambhava, you would have known Tsongkhapa, you would have known all the masters on earth. You would have met every saint on earth, just by knowing me. Because those are the people I hang out with. Those are the people I create. So all of our history in this world, all the past, is a very different past than you can come to recognize. But my past isn't. And my past follows me around and is with me all the time. It's a big world. And we're in a place, and the masters and the saints and others are in a place to where there's no real way of waking up and getting out into humanity with all the false prophets that there are. You have to go against the Dalai Lama to become a master. You have to go against the Pope to become a Christian. You have to go against Muhammad in order to realize the vision Muhammad had, which is the coming of Christ. Holy mackerel. The second coming, that's what it was about. But you miss the whole thing, and it's written in it. And I was there. I had no problems with any of that, because I was constantly fulfilling the process, healing things along the way. But we were in a dark age, and it was a dark time, and you had Hitler and everything. You know, so unless you were in my circle, you know, then you were in a very bad scenario. Just like this guy, Daniel, yeah. But even if you are Daniel, you know, I'm going to save you. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you're at. I set up Dharma centers and situations around the planet. I give people etheric weezers, vajras, and all my music and pictures of myself so that they can show people that I'm alive and well. And it changes people. Yeah, check this out. This is just one guy, Daniel, who has changed, but there are a lot of people who have had a lot of relationships of awakening.
My name is Simon. I've been coming to the centre here in Glastonbury for a very long time. I just wanted to make a testimonial about how I felt about what Buddha Maitreya is doing and what he is giving to the world through his tools and his teachings. About 18 months ago, I was extremely ill with pneumonia, and I phoned up the centre in absolute desperation. And they said they would let Buddha Maitreya know about my condition, and almost immediately I started to feel better. I had a very enormous burst of energy that came down from my crown down into my body. I had a sensation of pins and needles right throughout my body, and especially in the areas around my lungs, which were very heavily infected at the time. And I would like to say that from that moment on, I actually became much better, and I felt stronger, and my healing began from that time. I've used the tools extensively. I listen to the Om meditations, and I also have music playing in my house 24 hours a day. And I've certainly found this to be very, very inspiring and very positive experience. So I would just like to share that with you and just say that what Buddha Maitreya is bringing to this world is an amazing thing, and I would like to thank him personally very, very much for what he does for both me and my wife. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, and that's just people who just walk by, you know, walk by the center, you know, and just drop in. You know, this isn't a situation to where anybody whatsoever is recruited. You know, anybody is told you're going to go to hell if you don't believe in this guy. You know, nobody is told you got to buy these tools or you're going to go to hell. You know, they're just there. You know, and people love them and they're attracted to them. You know, and they listen to the music and it overwhelms them. And most of the time, I am in the Holy Spirit, you know, impressed upon every living body on this planet, you know, as their father, you know, as the agent of their father, yeah. So I impress upon people goodwill, you know, do the right thing. Go meet Jesus. He's at this location. You should take this tool, yeah. All the things that lead people to me in this life is in the Holy Spirit, and it's active. That's what happened to this lady. And she had a husband who had died. And she was in such a state of desperation, she was going to kill herself. No way out, none. And so many people are like that. You know? How do you get out of it?
Maitreya?
Yes, I am so grateful to what Buddha Maitreya did for me. About a year ago, I felt myself being guided to the Buddha Maitreya lecture at Harmony Market in Orangeville. And the weather was really bad that day, and I was so upset because I just felt with my whole heart and soul that I had to attend this lecture because my husband had passed away about a year and a half ago, and I was going through a terrible bout of grief, and grief is such a terrible feeling. You just feel like you're suffocating all the time. It's just unbearable to keep on living. And when I went to the demonstration, to the lecture in Orangeville, to Harmony Market, as soon as the nuns turned on that beautiful disc, and I was holding the etheric weaver in my hands, I just felt a change. The words are so beautiful. They are so moving. They move my heart and soul. And it's impossible for me to go back to the way I was. Buddha Maitreya and his meditation, his invocations, and the etheric weaver lifted me out of the most dreadful misery. It gave me the hope to carry on. It gave me the energy to carry on. And even now, I have to keep doing it every day. And I do these invocations every single day with the etheric weaver, and I feel protected, and I feel safe, and I feel loved. And I can't imagine ever living without Buddha Maitreya again. Thank you, Buddha Maitreya. I am so grateful from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah. There's a whole planet out there waiting for that. And you're not going to get it in another way. You're not going to get it from Cracker Jacks. You're not going to get it from the Pope. You know, you're not going to get it from McDonald's. You're not going to get it from dieting and eating right. You know, you're only going to get it from God. And he sent me here to do this. Yeah. Simple as it can get. Yeah. For me, it's simple as it can get. For you, a little difficult. Yeah. You just got to get your head around it. Yeah. You got to be able to assimilate. You know, what's the difference? You know, there's all this false prophecy. There's all this false information. Imagine people like this. This is just, this is a guy who wants to help people, you know, and he comes across my tools, and because I do what I do, I provide tools, I provide pyramids, I provide mats, I provide music, I provide a way for the average person to become a saint. Yeah. Where they can get that pyramid, and they can get that mat, and they can buy a couple of etheric weavers and have a couple of friends come over. And all of a sudden, they go through transitions and change that is so phenomenal, you know, that they have now a job of helping people and providing healing for people where they can come to that house. This guy got into that scenario, and people heard about it, and there was a family who had a child who never spoke. Yeah, never spoke to his parents, never spoke to anybody. Yeah, and they didn't know what to do. They went to psychologists, they went to people, you know, what do we do? What kind of therapy can we perform to get him to speak or acknowledge us, you know? And they brought him to this guy's place and got into the pyramid, listened to my puja. He came out and he had a conversation with his parents. Pretty cool. Now, I've heard that many times, in impossible scenarios, yeah? And you can't, there's no logic to explain it. People are freed from whatever it is, the curse that it was in them, making them into somebody else who must suffer. Somebody who must suffer, you know? And that's what I take care of. I do not agree with it. I don't agree with it. Yeah? I don't even agree with death. And I'm well known for that. And I've risen quite a few dead people. Yeah? I've risen myself. You know? So I really don't agree with a lot of things that you hold fast as being absolutely true. And they're not. I've experienced it. You know? You know, so we need to open this door as far as we possibly can, and, you know, take into consideration of, you know, it's taken me over 40 years to tell people that I'm Buddha Maitreya, and then after telling people I'm Buddha Maitreya, slowly but surely tell people that I'm many other incarnations like Krishna, Padmasambhava, you know, Buddha, you know, all these different things. You know, and finally, in the last few years, people are getting to a point to where I can say, and I'm Jesus the Christ. You know? And that's the big one, because that's the one where everybody's cursed at. All the false prophets surround Jesus the Christ. They surround him. They either leave him out, or they create a false scenario, a false illusion, false god, goddess, all these definitions and everything that goes with it that makes you, not aware of the real true qualities that comes with Jesus, and where that lies in a person, So what I'm doing is that I'm making saints. I'm turning the world into saints, not human beings, but humane beings. Where right now we have inhumane beings who are human. And they can't figure out why the inhumanity happens while they're humane. They can't discern what causes it, what brings it about. And the influence behind it is spiritual. And everybody is an angel. And as that's being left out, and we're being pushed into thinking that we're monkeys, that we're bipeds, we stand up straight. Oh boy, we got a vertebrae, thumbs, we are really special. We got a brain, we can communicate. It took us millions of years to evolve to that. The bullshit that we're given, it entangles you into a web that is very thick and very hard. Very, very hard for you to get past. And it's so important for you to bypass that. So I created these systems. I created the pyramid and sacred geomancy and my blessing of light going into those forms so I could touch you at the atomic level. Every single thing. Every time you get on a mat, I'm touching you at the atomic level. When you touch an etheric weaver, I'm touching you at the atomic level that resonates into the etheric plane. That's major crazy. That's so cool. And I create geometric forms that communicate through that light and through that resonance that allows you to communicate without talking. Another level, your future, your telepathy, your intuition. And when this happens, you start having common sense. You can't help it. Because we're all made of the phi ratio. We're all made of these little funny geometric forms. And we have no idea that every single thing about us, even though we're independently unique, we're still made of these geometric forms. So we're sacred, but unique. And we apply a consciousness if that consciousness can move through us. Just like these forms. So I radiate light and consciousness through the forms. So when people touch them, they get electricity. Quite often they get shocked, and they get a stimulating electricity that passes through their body. And that's called prana. It's not the kind of electricity you're normally used to, because it comes from my heart. Right from my heart. My heart creates this pranic energetic field, and it's called the solar form. It creates a new form, a thought form, a solar form. And it brings in the laws of the solar system. That's governed by the phi ratio. It's big. It's a very big thing. And when we connect into it, we're not a machine. We're freed. We're freed. Because we're in this thing. We are made up of it. We are part and parcel. We're just like if you step back and you see the earth, it looks like the earth is all one thing. No humans, no nothing, just earth. But yet, there's all the humans on it, cars driving around, everything, flying planes, everything. But yet, it looks like it's just all one thing. And it is. And we really don't see it that way. We separate everything. We make everything separate. And we can't help but do that. So in this telepathy, it eliminates that possibility for people to create separation. And that's only done in your solar plex. It's not done in your heart. Solar plex rules. It rules by creating the personality and separation and eliminating psychic ability. So when I created these tools, it immediately bridges the lack of ability for a person to be a saint, and it brings them in contact with Jesus the Christ. Yeah? And having contact with Jesus the Christ makes you a saint. You turn into a saint. He radiates into you. You can't help it. He's more powerful than you. He's the guru. And now you are getting a spark. Yeah, and that spark enters you, and that's your monad connecting to your soul. And from that moment on, you know Christ. And Christ is with you, and that works with you. But you can stand back and still see that Christ is the one doing this. Yeah. So imagine this guy here, he just buys this equipment and everything, and now all of a sudden he becomes a community saint.
I want to speak to you about the testimonials and things about the Buddha Maitreya pyramid and the etheric weavers and the different forms and different things that the Buddha Maitreya offers. I want to tell you about a child that I had in the pyramid that had not spoken to its parents for as long as the child was alive. And through a few treatments within the pyramid and listening to the Buddha Maitreya, the child spoke to its parents. I've been an individual who was left to, the doctor said that the cancer was too far advanced, there was nothing else they could do for the woman, there was nothing else they could do for her. So she came to me and laid in the pyramid, and we did a few treatments on her. And through those treatments, she became cancer-free. Could have been because of the old medication and different things she had taken, but they had given her less than 3-4 months to live. And she laid in the pyramid. I did the etheric weaver treatments, and she became cancer-free. I've had people lose the headaches and different things they were having in their body just by listening to the Buddha Maitreya. The breathing capacity gets better. It brings a balance. I know some people will try to play some other kind of music within the pyramid and use some other kind of modality within the pyramid, but it is the Buddha Maitreya speaking through the pyramid which does the balancing, the upliftment, the encouragement of the higher self to become more balanced, become more in tune with the environment around them, and to understand the true nature of who they are. And I've used the Buddha Maitreya pyramid, and I've had it for so many years. I first came aware of the etheric weavers so mmay years ago when a lady had hurt her foot, broke her foot, and had a large gash in the top of her foot. And her foot was turning purple. We were on board ship, and she had this large cut, and she started using these weavers over her foot. And within about an hour, the cut started to seal up. Foot started to get color back to it, and she was able to walk within a few hours on that foot. So, and that had me sold. So I want you to impress upon you, if you get a chance to lay in one of the pyramids or use one of the etheric weavers or listen to the Buddha Maitreya, I would advise to do that, because it will bring a sense of balance, a sense of connection, sense of purpose, and really it just makes you feel uplifted by listening to the Buddha Maitreya, because through his voice, through his encouragement, and through his understanding, he brings balance to your higher self and to the world around you. Thank you.
So it's good to hear other people, talk about their experiences. And these are universal experiences. I can show you people that were homeless, and they're just eating sandwiches, and getting blessed by that. And then a month or two later, they get an etheric weaver, the blessing, and then they get more blessed from that. And all of a sudden, they're talking where before they had no ability to talk. Their heads were down to the ground. They felt really bad. They were so depressed. And after 3 or 4 months of feeding people and helping people, they're lifted up. It doesn't matter what the situation is. That's the energy that comes with the real Christ. Yeah. Doesn't come in a great big bus coming with church members and everybody, you know, feeding you, because all you're going to do is get fed. You know, doesn't come in a great big church hall, you know, of some person claiming to go up there saying that they're a disciple to me, you know, and get everybody excited as though I'm in the room. What we need is for me to be in the room. Yeah. What we need is for me to be in the biggest hall in New York, and the biggest hall in LA, and the biggest hall in San Francisco. Yeah. Every city. Yeah. I need to be invited. Yeah. And I will be. Yeah. And when I'm invited, it'll be hundreds of thousands of people who are going to receive this. And we're all going to sit together and listen to puja. It's all going to be Bluetooth-like. Everybody's going to have their headsets. It'll come through their phone. And we'll all listen in high quality and meditate. Yeah? And everything will be different. Because when I reach this process, you know, when humanity's ready for me to step out and step into the majority of humanity, the majority, hundreds and thousands at a time, per day, yeah, different people in different places, yeah. I'm just going to drive around in our truck, you know, and go from city to city and state to state and heal this nation. And once I've healed this nation, I'm going to be asked to go to other nations and heal those nations in exactly the same way. And then I'm going to be known as the world teacher and the reappearance of Christ. And the healing of the nations will begin. It's not going to happen in some other metaphysical way. It's not going to happen because my disciples go out and claim a church. I'm not going to do that. It's not going to happen. It doesn't work that way. You have to do it my way. It has to be done my way. You have to build pyramids. You must. Yeah. You have to build pyramid centers for meditation. You must. Yeah. Those who can afford it need to buy pyramids so that they can meditate in them, and every single person needs to have my pujas. You must. There's no question about it. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what religion you are. Yeah. Your dog needs my music. Your fish needs my music. Yeah. All your plants need my music. Yeah. They need my geometric forms. Your gardens need my geometric forms. Your animals need my geometric forms. Yeah? I'm not here to create a new Amazon, a new business, or anything like that. If I can give all this away, I absolutely will. If I could be funded and have this manifest in that way, I will do it that way. It has nothing to do with business or me making money. Nothing. You know? Because I have projects that feed the world. I tell people it's got to happen, and we do it. Yeah. I don't leave anybody out. You know, I don't leave anybody out. You know, so when I get out there, be ready to be of service, and be ready to meditate, and be ready to practice right nature, you know, and do all these great things, and be ready to be healed and not die in the ways that you were going to die, and suffer in all the ways that you were going to suffer. Yeah. Imagine, you know, 1 million of these people with their pyramids and on their towns and their communities, and people with cancer and people who can't speak and people who are desperate, you know, all get to go to these places and be healed. Just like that kid with his family, or that lady whose husband died and was going to commit suicide that week. And now is a happy-go-lucky spiritual person who's like a saint. What a jump. And Daniel, you know, a gang member. How is he going to get out of that? Oh, excuse me. How is he going to get out of that? Impossible. You know, in a lifetime, you know, he might be able to step back. He might be able to try and talking his friends from going into the gang or something like that. But the gang will still exist. Things will still go on. There has to be a healing, yeah, from the evil spirit that makes people do what they do. And everything I do, it has to be followed in exactly the way I say. And it's so simple. It's not a religion. It's not a commitment to me. Yeah? Yeah, all you got to do is just wear your freaking etheric weaver and use it when people are in need. Yeah? Watch yourself be a saint. Watch yourself be a healer. Do things you never thought you could do, and you can only do it because of me. And that's just how it works. It always works that way. Yeah? I'm just making it real simple, real easy, you know? So you really can't make any mistakes. You can't fall into a glamour. Nothing I'm providing you will allow you to fall into a glamour. Yeah? It'll move you right along in life in the proper way. Yeah? All right, so let's do a little prayer. Oh, I want to say one more thing. We have some major changes that have they've been going on, but there's a lot going on that is because we've now changed over from where we were at in this government to where we're at now, and we've got $1.9 trillion, you know, that's going into humanity, and a majority of that is going toward poverty, you know, and a raising of people's ability to take care of themselves when pregnant and when homeless, and you know, when you can't take care of your children, you know, all those things down the line that have never been taken care of before, yeah, are now getting issues, getting platforms, getting possibilities that money will be put there, programs will be put together, people will be helped, yeah, and it won't be a waste of money like it was last time, you know, just throwing away money all over the place, yeah. So there's a great deal of change that's coming into play, and one of those things is the area, it's a really big thing if we can provide electricity for America, yeah, if we can get out of coal, fossil fuel, things like that, provide electricity, get away from the grid that we're in that Edison would recognize if he was here. He would think, well, nothing's changed. It's the same. These are the same lines. You have the same power line structures, same generators. So what's the diff? You know, and that's got to change. You know, so we've gotten to computers, and we're getting into communication through those computers, through Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and other means. So we can communicate back and forth through houses, through our appliances, yeah, through our cars, from car to car, into an internet network that can share energy, telling appliances and other things, don't use so much right now. You know, let's cut back. Let's, you know, because you're not using it. Yeah, and it's within the system of a grid, a communication grid, a smart grid. Yeah, and it's that future of the smart grid that will save us all. And it's part of the whole thing. It includes our car. It includes how the car is driven. It includes why the car is made the way it is. It includes all our cell phones. It includes all the new electrical plug-ins that go into your house. It includes all your appliances. Every single one you buy. Every single one. Yeah? All have in it a chip that can communicate with the other appliances. Yeah? In the beginning, we're going to buy those things because they help us. They give us a smart house. Yeah? We can control our temperature, we can control, you know, the blinds, we can control things. Yeah, and it does make the house smarter, and it does save us money. And we're learning that this is something that's true. This is real. We can do this. It's not easy because you got to buy it in, you know, kits and put it in yourself and program the whole thing and all that. But we're in the beginning stages of this. Yeah, and as time goes on, every single thing we buy will be pre-programmed and wired and ready to communicate. Yeah, and the moment we set it up to register it, we agree whether or not it's on or off. If it's on, it's on. And within our own system, we can set, now you can't be turning my air conditioner, you know, all the way down to 72, or make it not go off, not go on until it reaches 78, you know. You can't be doing that, you know, government or whoever it is that's running it. You know, so you have your own settings that you could put within your smart system so that your personal life doesn't get messed up. You know, the timing of charging your car, the timing of washing your clothes, all those things Yeah, but that's in 80% of society. That's not the case. They're just going about living their life. They're not controlling anything. Yeah, their washing machine is just plugged in and having a little energy drawn from it. Other things are plugged in, a little energy is drawn from it. Yeah, your fan is on. Yeah, your air conditioners are on all over the house. Yeah, so it figures it's 10 o'clock. Only to keep the air conditioner on in the bedroom. Turn it off all around the house. If you need it on, you're going to get up and go turn it back on. Yeah, but this way, all of a sudden, 10,000, 100,000 houses go into cooperation in a smart grid. And we literally control the flow of energy back and forth like this. And we never have a blackout. You know, we're not overusing it at any given point in time. We always have a surplus, and we have battery systems, we have solar going on, we have all these things that will be built into it. But the one thing that will save us, the one thing that will keep us from building this grid and having these wires running everywhere, yeah, the way it is today, yeah, is a smart grid. And that smart grid will come to the point to where we all have our own battery system built into our house. We all have electric cars, and it's plugged into the same battery system. And we can actually allow the smart grid to tap into our system and allow it to come a little out that we're not going to use, and it pays us for it. Yeah? So we're not being ripped off in any way. This is an honest process. And we've never really entered into something in corporations and other means that is an honest process. Under the table, we're being screwed. At all times, we're being screwed. This is to set up us to stop getting screwed. Does that make sense? Yeah? Yeah. So that's going to, in so many ways, it's going to alleviate our hassle, you know, the stress level of reality in our life, yeah? And it'll bring moderation and minimalism all the way down to our house, all the way to our car, all the way to our cell phone, all the way to our life. And our life will connect to everybody else's life. And we will all be in balance. Yeah. Right now, because of corporations and greed and all the things that go on, false prophecies, all this bullshit, lies that go on in order to incorporate into an agreement or into a company a way to rip people off. Like right now, big corporations, in the last 20 years, CEOs have made 300 times more income coming into their house and coming into their pocket, you know, and yet their employees have not received hardly any increase in their wages, yeah, benefits, wages, whatever you want to call it, yeah, nothing, yeah, but yet, you know, Bezos is making so freaking much money, he can afford to travel to the Mars and pay for it personally. Yeah. And yet if you go into Amazon, you find people who are enslaved in hard labor and working beyond their means. Yeah. This is corruption. That's corruption. Yeah. It corrupts our soul. It should not be in our environment. You know, so it's time in minimalism, as time goes on, we will not be ordering from Amazon as much as we do now, today. Yeah. As we're in a coronavirus, it's like Amazon's the only thing we got. Yeah. But we're not going to be in a coronavirus in 5 or 10 years. And in 5 or 10 years, we're going to be much more minimal. We're going to have refrigerators that are 12 volt or run on solar. Yeah, and we're going to have, you know, food that we're making ourselves, and we're buying grains and we're grinding it ourselves, and we're sprouting our own food, and we're doing things that are much more minimal and wholesome. Yeah, and a large scale, this is happening. More people are riding bikes because there's electric bikes and good bikes and all kinds of bikes that become the entire possibility of your vehicle management. Yeah, your whole transportation can be bicycles. Yeah, and we never, in our minds in humanity, we don't go there. We think, oh, bicycles is something you just ride occasionally. but not when it's electrical. Not when it goes up hills with no problem whatsoever. Not when it gets you to where you need to go at the same speed as a car. Yeah? And you get exercise, and you get out, and you get to enjoy yourself. And it doesn't cost you a dime. No insurance. None. So instead of having 3 or 4 cars, you could have one vehicle that maintains everything. Yeah? It's like you need a SUV that takes care of everything. You need a truck, use that for everything. Yeah? And all those trucks and SUVs and everything, they're going to be electrical. And your bike will plug right into it and seem like it's all symbiotic. It's all one big thing, you know? The bike, everything plugs into your house, and you make your own electricity, your own electric company, yeah? You're growing your own food, yeah? Decisions are because options that come your way are turning you into a minimalist. Turning you into a minimalist. All the words that are coming out into society speaks minimalism. All the words. Yeah? No one can get away from it. Yeah? Even tiny houses has become, that seems normal. That's about as minimalist as you can get. Yeah? But yet, it is where we're going. Yeah? It's the future of humanity. Yeah? So check this out.
The modern electric grid is an engineering marvel. In the U.S., it connects to 7,300 major power plants through nearly 160,000 miles of high-voltage transmission lines and millions of miles of low-voltage lines, coordinating with about 3,000 different utility companies to bring power to over 150 million customers. But as impressive as that is, it's an outdated system.
If Thomas Edison woke up today and looked at the electric grid, he would still recognize it.
Basically, our grid was made for a world that runs on fossil fuels, a world of giant energy producers and the consumers dependent on them.
Power has been designed to flow from the big power plants down to our houses, and that one-way direction has really limited our transition to more renewables, more storage.
A greener world demands a different kind of electric grid, a more distributed grid, where individuals or companies can generate, store, and sell electricity too, through the solar on their roofs or the batteries in their electric vehicles. A grid that can adjust to the variable, weather-dependent nature of solar and wind by managing consumer demand, smoothing out the peaks in electricity usage by automating appliances to run at the most efficient times, and eventually a grid where renewable energy can completely replace fossil fuel power plants.
Distributed generation requires distributed intelligence, and that intelligence doesn't exist today in the way it needs to exist to move this forward.
We need internet-connected smart meters and sensors that can provide detailed usage analytics, and appliances that can be controlled by our smartphones and utility companies. We need software that can tie all the moving parts together, analyzing reams of data to ensure that supply and demand are balanced. And the good news is, we know how to do that.
We don't have to really invent new things. You know, these are chips and software and switches and network equipment that we already have. The hard part is really integrating those technologies together to get the benefits.
Coordinating thousands of risk-averse utility companies across 50 states to get all this tech installed and operating efficiently is a challenge. And moving to 100% renewable power through a massive build-out of solar, wind, and storage facilities will be extremely expensive. Given our current technologies, a full decarbonization of the power grid has been estimated to cost about $4.5 trillion over a 10 to 20 year period. But if we're going to reach 100% clean electricity by 2035, as President Biden has pledged to do, modernizing our grid so it can handle that renewable build-out is a must.
So imagine $4.5 trillion. And according to Biden, this will be completed by the year 2035. Now, Biden, you're going to find in the next year, is going to be the most loved president in history by everybody. Doesn't matter who it is, Republican, Democrat, they're just going to love him. Just love him, yeah? And he'll, as he makes a difference in his process, and it's not really the correct process to keep moving through, he'll change direction, yeah? And you're going to find that to be true, Yeah, because the way things are running now, it's very difficult to turn it all the way into a direction it'll work properly. Yeah, so you try and redirect. Yeah, but that isn't enough. So then you learn you have to go further. Yeah, so that's going to happen, and he's going to have an enormous cooperation. And the 75% is going to be his level of people liking him. No president's ever hit 75%, and he's going to hit 75%. Yeah, so he's going to make another term. Yeah, which means he's going to have an 8-year term, and we're in 2021. 8 years is going to get us to almost close to 2029. Yeah, yeah. So at that time, 2029 is going to be an interesting period. Yeah, because we're head on the heels with him in office. Now, how do you get that money to pay for such a project by the year 2035? And you do that by creating the businesses, supporting the businesses that are going to create this infrastructure. Yeah, and you don't do that by supporting them in Mexico. Yeah, you do that by supporting them in Canada and America. Canada and America. Yeah, and you bring those two companies together, those two interactions together, do everything one can possibly do to build that interaction, yeah, and pull away from the fact that you can get it cheaper in Mexico or cheaper in China or cheaper in Taiwan, yeah, and your quality control is going to be far less, yeah. So Canada and America is something within our realm, within the realm of our existence, the space in which we work. You know, we can easily incorporate the industrial process of Canada and its quality control to meet the same standards as America. You know, that's important. It's important. The whole world has to come to standard. Yeah. So we're going to do this. We're going to work within the same standards, and that's going to give Canada the ability to do the same thing we're doing, to create this whole entire grid and manifest the whole situation to where they too are free from this horrible scenario. Yeah, but businesses is the way in which it'll get done, and they're losing businesses. They lost one of the biggest businesses that they had was making semi trucks. Yeah, they made these incredibly beautiful, great semi trucks for quite a period of time, and that went out of business and went to Mexico. Yeah, and we have VWs, we have all kinds of shit being built in Mexico right now. Yeah. We had Mercedes was interested in going to Mexico, yeah, and all these different things. You know, Ford was interested in working on Mexico, yeah. Motorcycle companies were interested in putting in industry into Mexico rather than America, yeah. So we really need to do financial support systems in order to balance out the making of a new industry, just like in the process where Elon Musk needed to start off an industry of building cars in a mass production from 0 to hundreds of thousands in a year. Yeah, and that's a very hard thing to do. You got to get a manufacturing plant, you got to get computers, you have to have engineers, and it has to work. It has to work. Yeah, or you're just going to spend all your time putting out a bad product. Yeah, and they put out the best product ever made in cars. Yeah. And yet, that was from scratch. Yeah, they bought their cars from Europe and sent them over to America and rebuilt them into electric cars. That's how they originally built the Tesla car. They didn't build them. You know? So by building these cars, it was something, and that was done because we gave them $50 million to support the building, which allowed them to talk to Toyota, negotiated a deal with Toyota, get Mooney, yeah, and have a bank then see all of that going on and say, okay, we'll back that. And it gave them the 2 years financial income it needed to do the job. And now we are selling, which means that there is an enormous income in America taking place. That's not just going into Elon Musk's pocket. It's going into tens of thousands of employees. And the same thing with solar, and the same thing with batteries, and the same thing with going into space. It's all in America. Yeah? And he's got Tesla in China, he's got Tesla in Europe. But they build cars for China. They build cars for Europe. Yeah, that's a big difference than putting 4 cars in Mexico and then bringing them over here and selling them. That's a big difference. We should make them here and sell them here. We should make products here and sell them here. Yeah, things that sell a lot. These new technologies, all these things that are going to be the future of communication between all the appliances. Adding in technologies into appliances, creating technologies that advance all of our transportation needs, yeah, our hospital needs, communications between, hospital technologies, yeah, advancements in every area, all can be done here in America. Yeah, we did Silicon Valley. We had Tesla. Yeah, we have the greatest engineers that are on the planet. Yeah, so this is what's going to come about. Is this whole future of us as an entrepreneur growing industry of developing these things. Yeah, Rivian is a company that started all on its own. There's at least 7 major car manufacturing companies that are not Ford, not Chevy, not BMW. They're really independent builders. Yeah, and it's working because they're getting funding and backing. Nowadays we have crowdfunding, where we can go online and we can get crowds of people by the tens of thousands, if not millions, who are interested in want to have this product. Yeah, so they're willing to put in the $500, $200 to buy the product in advance. Yeah, and that gives the money to the company to build the product and get it into its industrial process and manufacture that product. That's crowdfunding. That's a brand new thing, never even imagined before. Yeah, and that's happening in every direction. It's happening to feed people. It's happening to get people insurance. It's happening to pay for people's homes. It's happening to do all the things we need to do with how do we gather money? How do we get money in order to do the things we need to do without going to a bank or without going to a loan process, a lender that's going to be partial owner of our company or partial owner of the car till we finally pay it off, and they can take it at any time. Yeah, those things we're going to get rid of because we're in this new world of crowdfunding, in a new world of people sharing and caring and putting, advanced income. Just like in the process of Tesla, we built the new cars on the process of knowing that what you're going to buy in this car, 60 grand, you're going to pay for this car. That's going to pay for another car to be built. Yeah, nobody else is financing it. It's you who's financing it. That's how all the Model S's got built. It's people who put in their, $2,000 as a deposit for the Model S and guaranteed that they would pay for that Model S when it comes out, and they do. In the end, they pay for it. And that Model S gives that company $30,000-$40,000 to work with, to increase their business. And they built the Model 3 by selling Model S's without getting loans, without going into the regular thing that we normally do. So we're learning new ways, to move this thing forward very, very quickly. He created 3 brand new models of vehicles that are completely offsetting all the vehicles that are on the planet. And yet, how could he even build one? How could he manufacture even one? It's because we and the people are the new group of world servers. And we're in the future, not in the past. We're in the future. And the future is made of the present moment. The present moment. And you have no idea the Lord is the present moment. All of time and everything of the moment is about the projected thought form building that comes out of the Lord, that projects into the future the outcome of the future. And it moves exactly in that direction. You just have no idea. All right, so now we pray. Okay, repeat after me. Lord Jesus the Christ, thank you for bringing me here. Lord Jesus the Christ, please open my heart today. I invite you to come inside. Lord Jesus the Christ, come and save my life. Receive me today as a child of God. Forgive all my sins and write my name in the book of life. I give myself to you. My spirit, my soul, my body. Receive me, Jesus the Christ. Now, the devil, the blood of Jesus the Christ is against you. I command you now to leave me. I do not belong to you. I am God's property. Leave my life. I disassociate myself from you. I renounce every evil covenant I have entered in with you. In the name of Jesus the Christ, I have received salvation. I am a child of God. Amen. Okay, just relax. We're going to do the puja of 7 rays, the alignment of the 7 rays of God. So it's going to be an Om about every 10 seconds. Hearing the word of God, the word of power. Take a deep breath. I invoke the sense of touch and the first ray as the finger of God. I invoke sight, as the third ray, as the eye of God. I invoke the sense of taste as the sixth ray, as the desire of all the nations. I invoke the sense of smell as the fourth ray, the beauty of revelation. I evoke the sense of intellect as the fifth ray, as the knowledge of God. I invoke the sense of intuition as the second ray, the understanding of God. I call upon the synthesis of the seven rays to be expressed through your personality. As the first ray of ideas, the mental body, the purpose, your life. Ideals, the astral body, and your quality. The third ray of idols, your physical body and your form. The fourth ray of the fourth kingdom, of humanity in balance. The fifth ray, the third kingdom, the animals. The sixth ray, the second kingdom, vegetables. The seventh ray, the first kingdom, minerals. I call upon the relationships of all the kingdoms to penetrate the personality of humanity and express its collective soul. The seventh ray and the fourth ray as the mineral kingdom. The second ray, the fourth ray, and the sixth ray as the vegetable kingdom. The third ray and the sixth ray as the animal kingdom. The fourth ray and the fifth ray as the human kingdom. egoic soul. The sixth ray and the third ray as planetary lives. The first ray and the seventh ray as solar lives. soften its light into its healing process. I invoke the esoteric law of solar energy to make manifest the cosmic force of light, love, and peace. Okay, just take it easy. Is there a Maitreya solar cross nearby? A big one. Yeah, great. Take that off. Thank you. Kind of cool. Yeah. This is the Maitreya solar cross. Yeah. And this is the most elaborate of all the tools I put together. Yeah. And it has within it the solar forms, and they're everywhere. It has within it, this is called a solar cross right here. This cross that you see going across here like this, and it go across like that. Yeah. That's a solar cross. Yeah. And if you see that on the upward side, you see it over here on there, just like that. Yeah. Now when you turn it up like this, you can see it has a pyramid on top. Yeah. And then that pyramid goes actually all the way down to here. And that's an octahedron pyramid. It's not a 51-degree pyramid, but it's the pyramid that applies with sacred geomancy in relationship to the Metatron cube. Yeah, so the cube, this is a cube octahedron. Yeah, so this is applying a lot of energy into the octahedron and the cube and all its sacred geomancy, all the things that are involved in sacred geomancy. So this is, if you know about sacred geomancy, this is super sacred. Yeah, super sacred. So due to sacredness, it is magnetically attractive to Devic energies, elemental Devic energies. Elementally, it's just natural, yeah? Because this is a Deva in itself. The geometric form, yeah? The words, Maitreya solar cross, all those things are Devic in form, yeah? So everything about this attracts to it, higher Devic elemental forces. And those are the highest of archangelic qualities. Yeah. Those higher qualities. Yeah. So in this applies, this draws into it, all energy, yeah, is drawn into it because it's magnetically attractive, yeah. It draws into it and attracts to it more angelic energy, you know, so that everything around it is more inclusive on an angelic level. Yeah. So this is great in gardens. Yeah. This is really great where you have large numbers of animals. Yeah. Where you have a large building, you have a lot of people in it, and you want to bless the whole building and the surrounding buildings around it. Just one of these will do that. Just one. Yeah. And it's almost like having a solar system right there in your hand. Yeah. Because it applies all the solar principles that create the energy of the etheric field that manifests into our matter that creates our universe. Yeah. So this is like a universal maker. Yeah. It creates universal matter. Yeah. And it aligns that magnetic field, and that creates a future. Yeah. That we don't know that if we had things moving through holiness, yeah, sacredness, then the patterns that it's coming out and goes forward create patterns of a future that is divine and holy. You know, we can't help it. It's automatic. It's just the way it is. It's the law. Yeah. And it's a law that's applied in pranic energy, which is that electrical energy I was talking about. Yeah. And it's applied in radiatory energy, which radiates, which is why people can feel my presence at a distance. They could be healed by me at a distance. There's no limit to time or space or anything like that. Yeah. And pranic, radiatory, and magnetic. Yeah. So the magnetic literally helps a person attune more to their heart rather than their solar plex. It's an ascending energy, magnetically ascending up. Diva, deva. Yeah. Human, higher human. Angelic, Buddha. Yeah. Buddha. Yeah. So we're all in a process to where we're coming in contact with our future. Yeah. And all my tools help to align us into that. Yeah. So some people have a thing like this. Yeah. A Maitreya solar cross, quite something. Sometimes that sits there. Sometimes it doesn't. This time it don't. And then there's the Deva builder. And a price tag. But this is a Deva builder. Yeah. And this Deva builder is the essence of our planet. It's the essence of our solar system. It's the essence of what makes your body from the crown down. It's every chakra that you have in your vehicle is created in this form. Every chakra. So when you use it, you put it on top of your head. Yeah, you just place it on your head. And you listen to my pujas. Yeah. And the great invocation, dispelling world glamour, all those relationships, as you listen to my pujas, you just go on top of your head, and I don't know if I'll hit this thing above me here. You go on top of the head, and then it comes curling down. Bang. Now you're like that. And then it curls down and goes right into your throat. Then it curls down and right into your heart. Then it curls down, goes right into your solar plex. Then it goes down into your sacral center. Then you move it back up again. Yeah. And you're actually taking your Devic field, the energetic principle of every single one of your chakras, are able to tune in to this Deva builder and relax. Because, you know, it's not all about you. It's all about universal consciousness. It's all about the universal law that's applied in light. You know, so when you get the simpleness of things like an etheric weaver or a Deva builder or the things that I put out, which is the simpleness of things, the minimalist reality of the science of God. Now that's big time minimalist, you know, all the way to nothingness, to the atom, to geomancy. You know, that's very simple, really simple stuff. And you can't mess with it. Yeah? So it it is radiated with the light of God. And when you use this, you do these sort of things, you're actually healing not just yourself, but it creates a David connection between you and the earth as a caretaker. So now you have this automatic symbiotic relationship with the moment. Yeah, not the future, not the past, but just the moment. Yeah, and every time you do the David Builder, it helps heal your your impatience, your naughtiness, your way of seeing other people and the way of seeing yourself, never getting enough done, all that crap. Trust me. When it comes down to God, your best is good enough. Yeah, that is it. That's all that's required. Do your best. That's good enough. Let's move forward. Yeah. All right. Enjoy. Thank you very much.